Hey guys, welcome to Daily Sketch number 15. Is this thing loaded? This is kind of a tongue-in-cheek piece. I drew it while I was stuck in the middle of a pretty serious artistic rut, which I get into a little bit more often than I'd like to admit, where, and part of it is because I commit to the daily sketches to post to Instagram and other social media outlets, which makes it kind of tough sometimes because sometimes you just get burnt out on that stuff, along with the day job and everything. It can be kind of hard, but, I really wanted to kind of capture the feeling that I had from being stuck searching desperately for some kind of inspiration, and kind of looking at my pencil like, why don't you do some of this heavy lifting? And regardless of what medium I think you work in, I think it's kind of similar. You might look at your guitar the same way, or really any instrument that you use to create anything, really, whether it's a computer or anything else. So I wanted this kind of image of staring down the barrel of the proverbial gun, or the pencil in this case. And I decided to kind of up the ante a little bit to really give myself the challenge of drawing a complicated hand positioning, staring at it, like just flipping the pencil around from drawing position to my face and staring down the barrel of the pencil. So really trying to nail that hand pose. I had to, really flip the pencil around a lot for myself. And this is like my fifth attempt, I think, at really trying to get this to look natural and correct and everything. It's not a very comfortable hand position to begin with, so at this point I'm really starting to get into the proportion of the hand that I want in relation to the rest of the piece and the rest of the composition, but I had to transform it, select everything and kind of twist it a little bit so that it fit with where I wanted the pencil to wind up. I think that's my favorite part about the piece when I look back on it, is like making the choice to challenge myself with the hand, and making that commitment was good for me. It was a hard hand position, but I feel like it really forced me to focus on construction, and something that I kind of tend to skip a lot, just because. And then I feel like I got a pretty naturalized angle down to the arm, in this position that really conveys my confusion and frustration looking at this pencil that's supposed to save me from my artist block. And now I've moved from my sketch layer onto my inks, and this part is easy and hard at the same time. It's easy in the sense that I spend a lot of time on my sketch layers, so I don't feel like it's necessarily as much work once I get to this point, but it's also hard because I'm very sketchy with my sketch layers. Imagine that. But I really don't do as often a cleanup line layer, which winds up kind of leaving a lot of work for the ink phase for me to have to make some decisions about which one I actually meant to do. But here I'm going back to the sketch layer to kind of try and sketch in a second hand position for what I'm doing. I had the hand the other way, and I actually liked the position of the hand and how I had it working in 3D space. But when I thought about it, it didn't feel like a very natural position for a hand to be in there. So I flipped it around to be kind of gesturing to the hand with the pencil, which felt like a more natural action, I guess. It was a more natural acting gesture. And so then I feel like I got a pretty good hand space, but then the wrist was kind of weird, and I had to work around that a lot to get that looking correct, a little bit broken. And then the hand was too small, so you see I just resized it so it fit a little bit better. And now I'm kind of working to make that wrist look not broken. Just when it was off to the side like that, it looked completely dislocated. And just a lot of sketch, align, and undo it there, trying to get some really natural... I have wavy hair, so getting a natural wave to the hair so that it looks good it just takes a couple tries. I'm definitely a slave to the undo button, which is why I suck at traditional media. So yeah, now I'm just laying in big blocks of color. This was well into the point where I kind of switched to my workflow of doing an ink layer and then putting a layer underneath that and doing the flat marker for color, just because coverage and pickup is great with that brush. Still has some texture, but I mean, it just really lays it in really quickly. And doing these daily sketches, it's usually after an 8-hour workday or longer, and then I have to come home, make dinner, work out, all that stuff, and also manage to get a drawing out. So having something that lays it in quick and dirty is exactly my speed. So really trying to just kind of differentiate, stick to my palette, but differentiate some colors, like the mustache, my handlebar that I had for a while from my regular hair, and also picking colors. My actual drawing glove is black, but picking a dark blue so that doesn't totally ruin the read of that pinky finger. And then my favorite background style, just laying in a big geometric shape for a light source and throwing some color behind it. So this is the piece, Is This Thing Loaded? Still one of my favorite pieces. It's my profile picture on lots of social media, which you should check out in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and come back for more, because I enjoy making these. At any rate, I'll see you next time.